T.O.M Sessions.
Yes, people, it's myself, T.O.M S, and you are locked into T.O.M Sessions.
Yes, indeed, you are tuning to the T.O.M Sessions show. This is like a part 2 to a part 1. I hope you enjoyed the show so far on KTK Radio, man. Yeah, myself, T.O.M also in the building. We have Claire B. Duns, eh?
Hey.
Hello, hi. And now we are also joined by our second guest who goes by the name of T.O.M.S. I say it as an acronym, yeah? Because I think I stumbled to a video that you said it was an acronym.
Yeah.
But Claire was trying to argue with me saying your name is Tom. So I guess we can start with the clarification. Is it T.O.M.S. or is it T.O.M.S?
It's actually both.
Oh, it's
actually both. So I suppose both of you are right. But yeah, T.O.M.S because my name's Tommy. So it's a shortened version of that. But when I initially wrote it down as like just T.O.M.S, I was like, nah, do you know what? That's a bit bland.
Yeah.
So let me put some dots, let me capitalize it. And it's an open acronym now. So
sick. So
yeah.
Open for any
interpretation.
Cool. Let me give it a go. T. Take out Messi something.
Messi and Suarez.
But usually, yeah, you had some good ones on your video. You had some good ones to do more with biblical context rather than me just trying to make up a messy one.
Yeah, like it can be different ones. Like there's other means of success. There's one means of salvation.
Look at how that came so smoothly. I thought you were actually talking. Jeez, that's dope. There's only one way. There's only one to salvation. What is it?
There's one means of salvation.
One means of salvation.
There's other means of success. Things like that.
Sick, man. Sick.
So I'll let people be creative with the rest of it. So.
All right then. For those people that are locked in and they're wondering who T.O.M.S is, how do you introduce yourself?
Oh, that's a tough question. You know?
Yeah.
It's always very briefly. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I'm 24. Born and bred in North London. As a person, relatively easygoing, but at the same time, I'm a deep thinker, and I think that shows a lot in my music as well. So yeah. That's a brief snapshot anyway. So
that is sick, man. You know what? Most of the time when I ask that question, like in this type of environment, artists straight think about, I'm a rapper, I'm a double-time Grammy Award winning.
I don't know. Because it's more than that.
Don't you see my chain, bro?
No, it can't really be that. At the end of the day, because it's a real life that you've got to have real life to make your art from. So yeah, man.
Definitely, man. All right, man. Just how did you get into music?
Oh, that's an interesting one because I actually got into music very late. So I got into music when I was around about 21 or so. So I was what you will classify as a very late bloomer.
Okay.
But around that time, like after that, I started taking my faith more seriously. I just felt that like God was just calling me away from a lot of the music that I was listening to during that time.
Okay.
And I'm a big rap fan, so it was really, really tough. And then it just got to a point whereby I was just listening to the instrumentals, and then I was like, do you know what? I started like mucking about with it, and I was just like getting the rhythm down and things like that. And I've always been like I'm a writer, so it's like putting in the words into the flow. That part was a lot more easier. And so then like a few of my friends were just mucking about, made a song, and it got a good reception. And then after that, like I was part of a youth fellowship called Radical Youth.
Okay.
And like they used to do like freestyle challenges and things like that. So I did one for Leicester because that's where I went to uni of Leicester. Yeah. And again, it got a really good reception. But then after, I'd probably say 2 or so years ago, that's when like myself and my collective, like we saw, because we're all friends, like we just looked at each other and like, do you know what? Like, let's actually take this very seriously. Like, let's really see what we can do here. So it's something that I definitely stepped into, but in stepping into it, taking it very seriously. So yeah.
Definitely, man. I think the first track that I came across of yours was Hope of Glory, I think. I used to hear that just bang, and it seemed like it was one of the tracks that sounded as familiar every time I heard it, but I was like, where did I hear this track? Like, I don't even know this track, but it's hard.
It wasn't even my song, that's Renz.
Yes.
He's in Authentic Music as well. So literally, and it's so mad because I remember when he asked me to get on it, like during that time I wasn't even working. And so he was based out in Leicester at that time.
Okay.
And like, I think I was just low on cash. And so like, I spent money like getting the train and everything like that. And I was so mad at myself because I was like, why'd you always say yes to everything? Why'd you always do that? Came out And honestly, like as soon as we put it out, within 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, I probably said like good 1 or 2 minutes, like we had a performance and it was 1,000 people.
Sick.
And then we had like 10 straight off the bat.
Yeah.
And this was our first song, bearing in mind.
For
So
sure.
it's just like, wow, like what really happens when like you're obedient, when you think about other people as well. So
most definitely.
yeah.
And in terms of like musical influence, like
musical influence.
Yeah.
When I wrote it.
Yes.
Exactly at that time or just in general?
Well, at that time.
At that time,
yeah.
You know, it's mad because as I was saying to you in the break, like I don't listen to a huge amount of music, and in a sense, like it's you can see it as a negative and a positive, because in a negative, because you're supposed to be a student of the game, you're supposed to know what's happening entirely, but it also helps as a positive because you can sort of craft out your own sound as well. So like when I'm going into it, I'm not necessarily looking at what's hot. I'm just looking at, this is what I like, this is what I want to make, and then just making it off that, you know. So I mean, in terms of info, I just sort of made it, bro. Like,
Sure thing.
Yeah, that was it.
Alright, T.O.M.S. So yeah, you got some songs out. So I played Diamonds. I played This Is Bad, which was your first release.
Yes, man.
So what is like the overall plan towards what you're trying to do musically? Are you going to release an EP, an album? What is it that you're trying to get to at the moment?
Yeah, hopefully by God's grace have an EP out this year. So the plan is hopefully to just put out 2 tracks. Hopefully have videos for both of them. So first track will be Cradle, that's coming out on the 8th. Video is done as well. Hopefully that's in like its final stages. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the key thing for this year, just the EP, because it's getting to a stage whereby like, I think it's just time to put out a body of work.
Sure thing.
And just to get something out there. We've had a lot, I know myself personally, like a lot of delays in terms of getting music out. It's definitely not at the point whereby I want it to be, but that's something whereby it's patience, it's perseverance, you know, and hopefully by God's grace we'll get there in the end.
Yeah, most definitely.
So,
that's cool, man. Have you got anything that we can look out for right about now for people that tuned in?
Yeah. Literally 8th of March.
No, I mean like right now, if someone wanted to get something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right about now, This Is Bad, you played that earlier. That was my first release, but most recent release was Diamonds. You can find both of these on Spotify, on all major platforms as well. YouTube, like everywhere, literally. But just touching on Diamonds. Diamonds was a song that I did with Eliza Shea. She is another one, former label mate in Authentic Music.
Okay.
Still a very dear friend. And it's just speaking about, you know, growing pains and what it's going to make out of you. So definitely people can check that out. So, and I got a lot of freestyles on my page, so that should give people a snippet in terms of like my lyrical style.
Cool, man. When you say page, are you talking about social media platforms?
Yes, social media
YouTube
platforms.
channel?
That's very key. So even before I can, so Twitter page is Artist T.O.M.S. That's Artist ARTIST TOMS.
Yeah.
Instagram is other way around, T.O.M.S Artist.
Cool.
TOMS ARTIST, and YouTube is T.O.M.S Authentic Music.
Awesome. And yeah, you touched a bit about Authentic Music. How long has it been running for? Are you the CEO?
We haven't got it.
It's a collective movement.
So I mean, like in terms of how it's run, so literally it's just a collective. Like it's myself and Renz, and then got PR as well. And like we also have an event side to it as well. It's like when I see everyone in the team like all comes together. I think more importantly, just past their actual roles. Yeah. It's about having people that you're accountable to, people that can actually, you know, that go with you on that journey. So we started out off probably around about late 2017.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's fairly new.
It's very new, very young. Like I think all of us in general in the game are very young in the game.
Sure,
so I mean,
makes sense, man. When you say like coming in as a new artist, what are sort of the things that you've noticed that in the scene that you're rating, that you're liking about what's going on? Does it have a structure? Is there infrastructure in place already, or do you feel like you have to create opportunities for yourself?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's a mixture of a mixture of both. Like infrastructure was a big thing last year in terms of like why we couldn't get music out.
Sure.
And definitely learned from that. Like you can't, financially speaking, like just paying the amount of money that like you pay for studio. Like we started off, like we came out, we had videos and it was going really smoothly, but like we were relying on people that perhaps that weren't the best people to really be relying on.
Yeah.
But when you bring all of that infrastructure in house, and by that I mean like your recording equipment, people that like take care of your videos as well, when you have good relationships with people on that front, it makes a huge difference. So
yeah, most definitely. You raised up a pretty interesting topic, but I think I'll start with obviously your musical like the reasoning. I feel like everything has to have a reason, you know. You just don't do anything for no reason. So it's like, what is the whole reason behind your music? What inspires it? What are you trying to do with it? Like from a missional point of view, or is it just artistic? What is it trying to do?
I think fundamentally it's a mission point of view, but of course, like if you want it to be good and you want it to have good reach, I think it's got to have a very strong artistic element to it. But I think as well, the heart of it is I want to make music that is relatable, and relatable in the sense of that even if you aren't Christian, you can still access the music, because I think in doing that, I think that encourages people who perhaps are a bit distant in their relationship with God, or may think that they're not good enough for. Because ultimately, we all go through things. Like just because you're Christian, it doesn't mean you can't go through depression.
Yeah.
Just because you're Christian doesn't mean that your finances are not in are in a fantastic place, and you don't go through tough times. So the difference for us is that we know where to turn to, but for some people out there, they don't really know where to turn to. So I think if we can open the doors in terms of like showing people that this is what helps me, and this is my source, and giving them an opportunity to partake in that through the music, then that's a success in my eyes, really. So
yeah, definitely, I agree with that. Yeah, man. So in terms of your faith in Christ, is that something that was like bestowed to you from young, or is that you had to like kind of like discover yourself? What's the influences like around that?
I was raised in like a Christian home.
Okay.
But I mean, I was raised Catholic. But
yeah, similar to me actually.
Yeah, and I mean, like it's you know, I'll speak on the positives, because I mean it gave me my foundation. But when I got to like uni, but it was just a Sunday thing, you know. Like as soon as you come out of church, boom, let's get life. Let's get going, you know. Like so, I mean, but when I came to uni, that was a time whereby like I met people with different faiths, and I like questioning things. And so for a period, like I just stepped away from it all because I just didn't believe in it. Theologically, it didn't make sense to me. Like it's just. But I had my own encounter at uni in my first year. Controversial because of all the temptations, but like now that I have that and I know God for myself, like my relationship is completely different. It affects the way that I live my life, every single aspect. It's not just a Sunday thing. Because I
do feel like pride is definitely a big thing because of the actual culture that went away. You get me? Just that I'm a grandkid. I grew up on just like bow, and you come back at me, I come back at you, I'm trying to outdo you, I've got the biggest bars and my cars is sick, this and that and that. So it's always just, even as a Christian, you kind of struggle with that a little bit just because of that competitive environment.
100%.
How do you cope with it and your faith?
It's very tough. I mean, because as you said, like the whole essence of rap is, well, a lot of it is, you know, you boast and you brag, and it's that is the culture. Like you can't turn away from that. That is the culture. So I think for me, it's self-censorship, and by that I mean, you know, I always ask the why. I'm just like that in general. I always ask why. Like you just ask something, I'll ask, why do you say that? Why do you think so? I do that to myself when I'm writing lyrics. Why did you put that down there?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And I have to be very honest. I put it down there because it sounded wavy, and I want to be wavy too. Very simply.
And you had to cross out a bit of
it's like, cool, like, all right, if that's what you want, okay, cool, we know that now. But what should it really be? Or how can we improve that? How can we? So it's just being honest with yourself, which is not the easiest thing, but it's part of the process. You know?
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. I think that's dope, man. Thanks for dropping as much gem as you have.
T.O.M S session.